Alrighty, Mr. Gatekeeper here. Turn this down right here. Alrighty, we have a very neat little repair for me at least. This is one of those amplifiers that pretty much was in the type of condition that a lot of people would just took a couple of parts from it and went ahead and threw it in the trash. But the front of it was in very good condition. You could tell the transmit bulb in there had got this a little hot. They start to get kind of discolored a little bit once that happens. It would be a really good idea if Texas Star used LEDs, but the problem is one single LED seems to not light the meter up as bright as a lamp. But as you see, well, I'm about to show you a little modification that I've done. This is going to light it up blue. But anyway, the front was in great condition. Now the inside was very rough. It looked like, I'll just flat out tell you, it looked like somebody had blew the living snot out of this amp, man. I have not seen a fairly new Texas Star blown this bad. I mean, there was resistors on the preamp was blown. Both chokes was blown. Okay, both chokes were blown. It appeared that a fella had got in here with a soldering iron that wasn't hot enough and just taken the pills out, had pulled some of the foil off. The foil where the output transformer set on was completely off. Completely off. I'll show you what I had to do about that. Actually, I think I put it up. I think I put it back in my bin over there. But here, let me show you this. Alright, you see this dead board right here? These two foils were completely off. So what I had to do is get me pretty much the worstest board I have in there. I have about 30 or 40 Texas Star boards, and they're 2-pill and 1-pill boards. And what I had to do is basically just cut with a Dremel that out. Let's see if I can find it to show you. I think it's right here on the top. What y'all see, I ain't telling no fibs. Everything I say, I try to make it as accurate as possible. There it is right there. See? I basically just cut that off. Grabbed a lid from here too. And all the other parts I added were brand new, which I will go over. So basically I had to cut that off and glue that on so I could put a transformer on. The transformer was off. Okay, just to give you an idea. These are all the parts that came out of this thing. Okay? Plus some more wire and stuff that I threw away. These are all the parts that came out of this thing, man. To give you an idea. So here's what I did. I had a predicament. I need some extra cash pretty bad to pay some bills. So what do I do? Well, I had a brand new matching set of DEI 2879s. And a Texas Star 350, once they added the DEIs, they changed a few things around. Okay? The tune is different. The input and output cap are different. They had a 390 along with the 1000 on the back right here. So I had to add that. So basically what I did is, this is an older, when I say older, it's a 350 from before the DEI version. Okay? And basically what I did was convert it to the current version of the 350, the DX350, which is utilized with DEI 2879s. I had to put this transformer on here, which came from my stash. I had to wrap that. There was a single wrap. I went with a 2 and a 3 ratio as the DEIs use. Of course, I had to take this board out, Look up underneath, make sure there wasn't no blown traces. There wasn't. Clean the living heck out of this board. I mean, look at it. There's no flux anywhere. No flux anywhere. I mean, this thing is immaculate. Look at this. This box is immaculate. Like I said, there was no cover on the relay, so I had to put a cover on the relay. The whole entire keying circuit section, everything you see right there, except this cap right here, is brand new. I put every single one of this in here, because I'm gonna be honest with you, how blown it was with all the resistors and everything blown, it's just best for me just to rip everything out and just replace everything. Over here at the keying circuit, every single thing in the keying circuit is brand new. Everything. Everything. Even this cap right here. I had this cap from my Texas Star parts. It's brand new. Everything. This 75 ohm was in there. Like I said, I had to replace this right here. This choke right here. Had to replace the 25 ohm sandbar. I added two 1000s electrolytics. Luckily this diode was still good. Had to add a 1.6 down here for the bias. Okay. New input tune, output tune, new feedback. I went with the 50 ohms like they're currently using now. Okay. I put a new variable on here as well. Okay. And as you see, I've been playing around with a couple of different ways. We're utilized with 4 3mm blue LEDs right here. Okay. To light it up. Had to put a new lamp on the power. See, this is why you'll see on the newer Texas Stars they've changed their switches, and I'll tell you exactly the reason why they changed their switches. One of the most common issues with the Texas Star is pressing the button in and the light doesn't come on. The reason why that is, you see these little tabs right here, these little tabs, those are just literally bent against one of the poles on the switch. After wear and tear, they'll get loosened up and won't be touching as well, and then you'll have where a light comes on sometimes, it don't come on other times. So basically what I do with pretty much every Texas Star I get now is I solder each one of these tabs. I go ahead and hit it with solder and solder it to that pole that it's touching. They should honestly they should have already done that from the factory, or at least when they figured out about that, that's what they should have started doing. 10 out of 10 times that fixes it for me. 10 out of 10 times. I would say 9 out of 10, but every time I've had an issue, it's either a bulb or it's that. There might have been one time that there was a weird dead short somewhere, but there you go. All right, let's go ahead and run. My phone's about to die. Let's go ahead and go on to the output. Okay, we're going to be testing this on 13.8 volts. Okay, 13.8 volts. So I got that on a battery. I just kind of turned it on, let you check the voltage out. All right, we're going to be on a 1000 watt slug. Okay. Let's see if I can get that. Get some light on that so y'all can see that. Oh, sorry about that. There we go. Okay. All right, we're going to be using the hot radio, which is going to be driving it with about 8 RMS. Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and flip it on. We'll put the green button in, variable all the way up. With this green button in, this 75 ohm is utilized, okay? And the variable is also enabled. Oh yeah! All right, that's 100 watts RMS. All right, let's go to PEP. Yeah. All right, that's about 250 watts. 250 watts PEP. All right, let's take it off. I went ahead and modified this as well. A lot of Texas Stars, when you take off and put it in high, complete high mode, a lot of them will swing backwards on you, because the way they've really got the Texas Star designed on high mode, that's designed really for a 5 watt drive. That's why a lot of them will swing back. And really all you gotta do is just put put a couple of strengthen some of the resistors. It's all resistor work at that point. Okay, so we're high, balls to wall, 13.8 volts, 8 watts drive, DEI 2879s, RMS mode. Oh yeah. Alrighty, about 150 RMS. Let's go ahead and flip it on PEP. Alrighty. Oh yeah. Alrighty, there's pretty much your 350 watts. It might have been a little shy, about 340 or so. Look at that dead key. Beautiful. 50 watt dead key, man. 50 watt dead key. Oh, yeah. Alrighty. Now check this out right here. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Alrighty, well this thing's working pretty decent. It's not working like a powerhouse like a Toshiba non-dot 2879s we got pick and do. But I tell you what, I'm happy. I'm very happy the way this came out. I mean, I pretty much just took this as a DX350 version before the DEIs and pretty much just did a conversion over to the new version that they're currently doing. And the only reason I did that is because I had a brand new set of 2 DEIs. I have another set of 4. I didn't want to break them up, and I'm just trying to make some quick cash, pay some bills. I usually don't have to do this. I hate having to, I do hate having to do this because I'm pressed for time, and I'm real heavy in repairs and builds right now. So this on top of that, yes, it's pretty rough. Another thing I had to say is also this is crazy, but this switch was wired up backwards from the factory. So for the sideband switch, when you turned it on, that was off, and off was on. So I went ahead and wired up that correctly. And the reason why I know for sure is because you could tell the tab that didn't have any solder on it was the tab that needed to have solder on it. So it was hooked up backwards from the factory. And oh yeah, you probably asking, what is that black stuff on the SO239? Okay. Look, I'm particular about everything. Sometimes when you're dealing with amplifiers that have been soldered on the SO239s a few times, they'll get a little loose. Because you about to have a very expensive, true Teflon, gold plated, I'm talking about true high dollar SO239, and even still heat applied with them can still make the center conductor jiggle a little bit. Well, I don't like that being jiggled over time. They can take the PL259, pull it out, and the damn center connector comes out with it. I don't like none of that, so what I go ahead and do with that, I usually use clear epoxy. I just didn't have none at the time. All that is epoxy, and basically that's just going to keep that center conductor still. It's not going to make it wiggle, back and forth, this and that. So you'll see me doing that, and I have to do it on a lot of my new builds as well, man. I mean, I've tried and tried. I've tried a small heat, little heat. It just seems like I have bad luck with that. After soldering them things in, they'll be a little loose, a little wiggly. But that's something very common I've seen in a lot of amps, But I just would rather just go ahead and do that on there. It's better to be safe than sorry, and give them SO239s a lot more years of use instead of it just continuing to wiggle. You screwing these in and out, and it finally comes out. So, all right, the last thing I did was put some real good standard, industry standard 8-gauge wire on here. It definitely is overkill, but it's pretty much a power wire mod that I would normally do for a 350 for somebody. And a lot of times, if it's a 400, 667, 500, you'll see me using 2 of each of these. Yes, we are talking about overkill, but hey, it's best to be overkill than underkill. And you see those are put in there very nicely, man. This thing surely ain't gonna start for no power, I'll tell you that. So everything looks good. Looks good. Doing about 330 to 350 PEP on the bird. About 150 RMS, 140, 150 RMS. Pretty decent. DEI Texas Star 350. Last thing I need to mention, the top. Okay, that is the only thing that I did not like about this amp. And if I had a brand new top laying around, I would have put it on there. Let me take you out here real quick. I am currently painting the top. A lot of people wouldn't even go to this much trouble, y'all. But I just want this thing to look as good as it can for somebody. It was rusty a little bit inside, so I went ahead and took the Dremel, got that rust off there. So I'm painting it now. I'm painting it a gray color, so it's going to be a gray. I didn't have any black here right now that would have looked good with this. So basically I just did that, and one of the things I was going to say is I don't know why. I have no reason. I don't know, man. My only guess is somebody drilled holes in this because they took the top off, mounted the amp, and then put the top back on. That's the only thing I can think of. And you can tell, I mean, they didn't do it uniformly. I mean, look at that. So I deburred these holes at least, so you wouldn't have these gunky pieces of metal around here. I deburred the holes, and like I said, I'm painting it. That's the only negative thing about the case. But look, I'll tell you this right here. If you're real particular about wanting the case, because I mean, I'll tell you, the top lid here is what I'm talking about. Top lid, I'm saying case, top lid. It is the only thing about this amp that ain't pretty much perfect. Okay, if you want to, you can go on RF Parts, I believe it is, and there's also a site called Barquette. Look up Barquette. He deals with a lot of old school trams and stuff like that. Buy you a new lid, man. Get you a new lid, you got you a brand new amp, man. Brand new amp. So that's the only thing bad about it. All right, man, we're gonna put this thing on eBay. Got a few more to put on. So, God, look at this, y'all. Man, I got a lot of work. Got a lot of work to do, y'all. Y'all have a good one. God bless you. I apologize for the mess, y'all. Hey, you gotta start somewhere, and it ain't where I'm staying. I'm heading on to the next level. Mr. Gatekeeper said it. We good and gone. Bye.